Everybody, I want to hear you. Let's go. Come on. One more time. Come on. I like it from Aka on guitar. I can't hear you. Break it down. I want to hear that. Let's go. Come on. Zoom. I want to hear the man. Hermano. Hermano. Zoom. Zoom.
Memo bibiara jo emamo akwaba edeba Nokware Mmre jumedi so endesu biem jumedi ubetimi ahye yen Facebook, YouTube and your Instagram page this so omo Eastern European countries so mo sa ebetimi akan yen omo Twitch satellite in the so and I say podcast or Anchor FM jumedi omo asoya say Inner Word of God construction company obaso no na wa share na afofo so ensaka no waiting me are joining in. If you say send your comments or suggestions na. And you may or more amene or more ever be did and come more Ura Bennett Kunedu Yado, South African Communications Team member, NDC. And now Ura say MacArthur NPP Germany Communication Team member. Now Ura Samakata or Bekayo who HU in CCIO Ura Kunedu Ewa City. Ura Kunedu Pacho over. Chia adofona yenkui
yo many about me that say me join race so na me just so many about na mafa akwanya so dia chia nuam Ghana form tie me free and am hear me free Ghana Europe and America and Africa ha ba bia me nyina aha no amajo matching depending on baby our me aba that's it.
Oh, okay. Now NDC mo camp or then so.
Me aba me that's BM. I mean for Konya is na me chia yen national youth organizer Pablo Mr. Jojo Pareado on a Juma power bono na otwi mu. Wo hwe edom wo timi gather within a short space of time na say bonaba so NDC mo de nyamiara me bia bokọ yewura John Mahama na holding kama Samuel Pusampofo holding yewura Haruna Idrisu asidu nkatie yempanumfo de nyamiara roma nyamiato nsupagu omo so say omo holding say de be 2024 betima ye adwumaden de age Ghana e de free NPP amomo bone a ye namu nti NDC mo de so yetigu krume yentua de mu wa wo hwe bi de course o Ghana enye NDC fonkwa yetigu krume Ghana fo nyina tiagu krume se sa ile bi to ne de ade etwam ne to nti no omontena se me yemfo mu sika nwa nanka nti Ghana fo nyina tigu monten so ne ye ye kire aban no etin the scope of the kire aban na NDC national media can national youth organizer on na BBS na so organize bibia on e campaign no oye ma na ye fe nti ele de NDC mu de bia da na akwa mu ohye kama na ara wo se ba ko won se asepa one of the CSOs no ba ko omo founder Mensa Thompson aban say wa publish false information ama na yedna kujina court hank of guninsa chirawo the kind of tyranny and Ghana for living in right now what should be net ya by now abana baba no person you said be ya next time no can be aban ho obesuru in the say the intimidation any hunhuna ne atete na ekoso wo yeman na the Ghana for nyina kan say na ohwe etigu prominsa amanfo kan omonda so nya na NDC nti NDC de party no bibia de na kwamboko minuaba
Yo medasi menya nti se owura makata nso etimi ajoin ni nti ye be kon ne ho na yakakuchia no na yafa ne ho nsem owura makata me ma adwuma wakọ aba
mini ajiva medasi bebre minuaba nyame adom said your mercy hu na anwumre mani age you are always shining like a morning star I'm offended just me said that be hu na o tire me kwan am befa so ame so metimi ama me ho aye fesa ho aye fe yi pa na anwumre
na makata
mami pa etifu achel say I had to rush to join because of circumstances being in the late kakra now so etifu emfanche medas
na den e koso mo akache
nyame adom NPP mame fa akwanya we so na mendi kan enchia NPP mpanimfo starting from the president of the country, His Excellency Nana Adudankwa Ekufuado. And enyumre baby bi obi anchia kese enko emfamano. And afi so the digital man himself, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia. Nze papa obo adwuma yie pa na menua Bennett kasa no. Na me hwe se enka obesi ni trase. Na wa manani ewu kakra e wone nsema na wo ye de o ka no nzi akwanya na ade man se wo nchia nanso so no odi adane akutia ene sabi entenchia na obu enanwumre ezanze last year getting to the latter part of the year His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia bekan say Ghana card in 2022, the e-passport. NDC for say it can never happen. And sometimes na say Ghana for etna ho. Ema NDC etimi eka same way. Okay, at the end of the day, it happens. Eniema NDC aka se entimi nye hoda e wo Ghana memu ani nyina mu under this government etimi abamu eye adwuma. You see, all of these things, they don't have shame. And sometimes I feel very, very pity for NDC members because me who say they don't have shame. And then you His Excellency Baumia, he's been vindicated. He said it, he emphasized, said in the first quarter of the year, e-passport, Ghana card, e-passport. And it has happened. Nti na nwumre ntia kese pa confirm His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia oka oye the council for den ebem. Na wie ni sa MPP mpanimfo ebo adwuma hwe se oman no betimi akoye nyina ntia kese enko emfama omo. Sanso na metia me Germany mpanimfo nyina Nana Boatin communication director ewo MPP Germany and then Yanko Enfamano and after so team members ni nyina Nana Benyi upon Oduku Mugabe omunyina ntia kese enko enfama mtimi nua ba oba MPP mudia ye de bia ye ka ye say enye se niema eda form fuche. Things are not that easy, we admit. But MPP, as we do, we always work to make sure say things are normalized. And that is what this government is doing. In MPP there, asumdue, and we are working hard to bring back a year economy on track. That is what is happening in MPP.
Yebeda si Uramakata. Yebicha yehu aje wako kato abasi siya na yeba yedi yejume dieno eba abesheshe so na yatwa bibia so kama yebicha yehu abasi siya munko bibia.
Yo abusiafo mo somfo na afia ko bisa wan peme na meka sei mesimu nyimo sum na montamaso na montie makopi inner word of God building construction company so annual inner word of God building construction company so she yesinyame adwuma na she na wo de akoso minua ebadan sie mu dia sumuda ne ya bama e de na wo pese yenyema building works Uprobi obeye carpentry amount, POP, metalworks, tiling, electricals, aluminium, fabrication, anal plumbing, bra, ni abesum we said you wisi penwo, said you wisi penny bia, yabeya amount, yatiti yankofo ni wenya misrum, omunchi windio, no munya basabasanso, and now penny ama ubetumi dia siwudan, to set building blocks, stones, sand, quarry dust, pavement blocks, anase wood branian somo ewo nyamesuro eni nyamesummu she enkoma minianu amu wa manone so bet na wo maye adwuma na discover mane abusuafo si enye japade ma na wo beba na wanya ne se de wo sipeno aya na eya bebre it's na me se fa ho bebo eye inner word of God building construction company so aya ti free inner word of God ministry international asori abaye mre me beboa ye ne yabotne ne brem minua ne kire se enye na da bi ne yedenam eyi nyamisurom eni nyamisuro kwanso eni yede ba abesomwo obetumenwu ye wa akra anase asharebochi anase frɛ number we 0242 515735 0242 515735 anase 0203 755 066 0203 755 066 Freye niya mesomo ewo no kware mu medawase
Yebeda shofo asese matna say atwenye and there your topic here discuss na ochi be me say twi mu say faith ereti Ghana say economy ni say si ano omususu say enye omadan bedie afei na ochi mu nso ya say hu bi eno nso aba be downgrade Ghana economy say si akra de bi omode ya akwakoto ye say enye krakrakra enti ebisa say Ghana economy no enidaso e wo ho mayen anase pan ye bekofo ora Bennett Koneduya do pacho ya semyi ano emayen say na NDC for say economy no TSAC
yo miniaba mesamo adwubie mesat me chia atiefo ne ahwefo so me da se so ma kwanya se me so me nche madwen emfa Fitch any Moody's omo ratings omo de Ghana ato no na miniaba ene Ghana ma menka ne se yegina akono be bia du se ne ade a edi ye pa se ye ka se ya downgrade wa esunsunsanso no edoso nsusanso won edoso ne se aban na enye nim se aban no eye bosia na aban de bo oman ho bra enti ana bosia no se ye domestic lenders na ye international lenders enti na wo euro bond na ye dollar bond na the tini se Moody's omo rate na omo de aba no mechechim kakra na ehwefo na etiefo atiase omo nchirem omo rate na omo de aba ekire se Ghana so ohwe mpempenso edu sisi ana wo yesika semu no so obo Ghana bosen a ebedin sa Ghana betimatua if you say yehwe Ghana ye ka ye de eni yensika afi no eba ye botom na se yetete aka no firi mu a de eba ye botom no ene de ye kutu aka no kamia ye se ase gap no mu no aye kitu abi dodo enti de tene so obo Ghana bosen anhwe ya na Ghana ntimentu aka no enti de tene se oye lender na oye obi oye potential lender na nka osusu ya so obo Ghana ban bosen a and obo Ghana ban bosen a so odadu no hu mienu because Fitch any Moody's ama ya ti ase se eno so obo Ghana bosen a ebedin so Ghana betimatua sa eka no na so obeka ya ene report aka meti ene se yesi Europe finance minister on any ministry no omo petition Moody's against omo rating no say they are not being fair with Africa and stuff like that, and that has been the slogan anytime be African country be ebenya negative rating be na or ya apedim be the ama rating agency no mekai in 2016 time one Jacob Zuma time South African president at the time and Moody's any Fitch any S&P Standard & Poor's nyina rating South Africa downgrade South Africa with a negative outlook. The Jacob Zuma be kind say obepese anka Africa yankasa ye rating agencies no man kasa rating na at the end of the day you hu say Jacob Zuma he was forced to resign because na amamu no ogun nenye and me no kase ye Jacob Zuma in court aban Mmre ni na do be kan na say okoda prison kakra and e uruma ye na be fi still na order so court na some court enti kire wo say anytime bi abun so obi blame institution a oye na dwuma biara na kire say sa nipa no ba bi no odi for enti eye finance minister era Kenoporiata na asem odi aba say Moody's any Fitch omonye fair to Africa no me ka kire ni say ma so ntimi no ma mon ka se ni ka kire nye Fitch ni Moody's ni S&P mo omo ya dwuma ni fetete omo ya dwuma ni Africa nko no omo rate yen me no ka say your countries be say ohwe since 2020 anytime be ye beka economy na asem bia no asem a ye NPP for can say coronavirus about say economy no and Ghana economy na say a global economy na generally affected, and so if the Ghana economy is struggling, we shouldn't blame it on the government. But me and then me try say me compare some countries in Africa na market on more boy against the performance of Ghana in this particular rating. Now me for countries which say Botswana enya triple B. Botswana enya triple B. Triple B positive. Omu general score omunya 67% on a score of 100. Omunya 67%. They are the best performing country of Africa. Oko Cameroon Cameroon enya B2 positive with a score of 28%. Oko Ivory Coast omunya BA3. Okay, come to Zambia na omunyina score better than Ghana score. Over Nigeria B2. Nigeria yenye so over the years our economy no has been in shambles no, and the Nigerian economy no abba on performance na team I raise up kakra even in the face of COVID. Okay, countries say South Africa, only B2 positive with a score of 28%. Ghana pay 22%. Or the CAA1. Actually, I say from B3 positive and they are take CAA1. I actually say you more than more ɛfa yɛ sika sɛmu ɛfa yɛ bosiabo emu ɛfa yɛ sika tuamu no ɛnɛ ɛkɔ fam even the revenues are government ni enya no ɛnɛ sɛ government revenues ni nyinaa ɛdinya tun sɛ ni ani ne yɛ compare yɛ ka yɛ dan sɛ ti yɛ ka yɛ bi firi mu a deɛ bɛka ne yɛ sika ketewa bi enti sɛ me dika ɔbɔ Ghana bosia ɛyɛ ade a yɛ sɛ ɔdwene ho yɛ because anhwe yɛ na Ghana ntimentua and ɛho tunsuanso ne sɛ ɛnɛ obi a ɔbɛtake risk ne so ɔbɛbɔ Ghana bosia no the obey is obey raising interest rate, you know. And to say, na Yakobo Bosana interest rate at 10%. A most likely send us a we boy Bosnia or the interest rate be 15%. Because chances are that I'm here in Timantre Bosiano. And Miniaba and the Oshe de Ghana, maybe a Bruna, a dear Ejina Kono, and market women, and a carpenter for mason for Omona Misu because a do some may say a woman or much. Omu and a much like a see a babada so. Your ministers in the NPC, the Omo any yen MCs in DCs, no Omo the Omu be 18, a binary to Amoka, Omu pay DMBP or by yen Miniaba.
Also, say, wait, it makes me a mistake be on the part of Moody's now, Amana Bassi, because your finance minister Cratcher say, rating the cry, and the one only baby. Omutimi fire omutimi downgrade yen sa enti unsu se error bi na esi wo baby ama na aba nti
many aba say o share yen debt to GDP ratio na enenam 83% enenam 83% enum pokra na a testament to the fact that the rating na aba na very fair yen rating na aba say all the car all your money with the car 344 billion Ghana cedis. Now with debt to GDP ratio, over 80% clearly. It says we so all things being equal, say Moody's go and pass our rating when you say ama and can you say Ghana be a Ghana yet. But you say be a Ghana and yet. And he said finance minister Eba be catch Ghana and also be catch Moody's name if we are seeing say Moody's any fair to Ghanaians, any Africa. Now, I come here say because Moody's now also any fair to Africa. No, was score Botswana triple B positive, or with a score of 67%. Botswana a African country. HSS San Kuntumpo almost channel for the past 2 years in the name of COVID. Say COVID now ma your economy no performance akofom na dia intro. Entra chizetokro bia na hono manya kwan adwane afam hwe so wo hwe 2016 IMF and the World Bank projection on the Ghana ka say Ghana economy will grow by more than 13% in 2017. In 2017 that was the projection on the mind and wo hwe your long-term projection na come say economy will grow by more than 10%. That is 4 years after 2016 that is the economy will grow by more than 10% every single year. Enti oshe achievements akufo befa akunya no 2017 onya 8% in terms of GDP growth. In 2018 onya 7%, 2019 onya 6%. Na oshe sa growth na onye ni nyina no na ye growth ye wura John Mahama ana abom modern mo no de ato o lay foundation de ato e de ama ban no because oshe IMF no World Bank projection o me for Ghana in 2016 omo ma Ghana a positive outlook. And let's just say the economy in the next 4 years, leading to 2016, the economy will grow positively. And the growth in 2017, 8%. Then yes, I could for a bond more than Mamma so a money by your John Mahama, investments are what would you wear economy move? The say proud to 2016 and I'm proud to John Mahama Fakunyano. Now, your problem power crisis. Power and that's electricity problem. And idea a day on console since 2006. And now my companies struggle. Companies elevate the shores of the country because now almost spending a lot on power generation. And they not almost say instead of produce Ghana no or country power supply quite reliable. No one setting the plant or we are exported the Ghana. And John Doman say economy bet men not companies bet movie in a also we investing in power and we invest over $2 billion in power generation. So what I say, and then the companies in Nigerian companies Mate, and the Nigerian companies are move your manufacturing plants from Nigeria, ever setting up in Ghana, creating jobs. In your companies, European companies are almost setting on manufacturing plants, our Ghana, almost supply the other countries within the sub-region. It's all because of the investment that you're going to run, Mama. And that was shit. Maybe a Ghana, you do see now. Now, you're going to Roman Mahama, every commercial. Now, what 3 extra oil fields ready at the amount of say and create extra streams of income. And from my buying, now this is going to be the bar or available to then Sika boy of Mompokaya dear. Na come will say a coup for the buy. Oma municipality economy no, Oma destroy economy no. They have destroyed the foundation of the economy and the footna. John Doman Mahama SCT Ghana or no, and the Oma destroy that footna no. And say you do soon, and the Ghana 4 you do soon. Yeah, 11 million because you're the man of to us. Your business can pimp a coup for the fuck when you're the ball man of brand. And say for the manager money, and no man to pempes where do not. Miniaba, I also do some body back about buying. Now, a ban and fun and neighbor so 11, and yet they bet metria. Moody's a match, says, and they seek a semi photo. Yakubo was saying, yet Mintia, a ban and Tennessee, wasteful expenditure and Ghana Initiative Integrity, I can WhatsApp. Now World Bank, I can WhatsApp. Now international credible institutions, I can say Ghana over every year. You lose over $3 billion. No, you're going to start Sikanoso. You're going to you lose through the various legages. Then to say that by you with me and just get about man of bra. 11 the million banya de beboa. That's what the IMF no see kwa. They not kwanya kwa IMF no. The IMF my chat. I between their fossil Eddie man free. Baby, I was to see a mini about me. That's it.
Miss So made us say, Ura, maybe you ever call Ura Mac at a hole. Nay, a quackoje on also adventure a walk the same. Ura Mac at a patrol.
Mini Ajipa. The Sabi, me ya dane sabi kutra or tare down. Me bo me trim kusi. Mini ansama all kind of contradictions be brave. Now, I think say on one case obetumi enya bre. Now after this program, no one say. Now one share name some our kind. Or no abemu me ba be point out some of the contradictions or kind. Or say you bet downgrade any country. It is based on their debt to GDP. And only the basis are Moody's at the downgraded countries. And also Ghana, your debt to GDP around 83%, which I agree with him. It is around that figure. A fact, undisputed fact. Me perceive minuano or say sadie we say you can't debt to GDP. Yanko countries are almost debt to GDP. Very high in the world. Me perceive me can countries nibi edi treno. Na me bo debt to GDP ratio no edi 3 million. So we could contribute to say Japan. Almost debt to GDP 237%. Mini eji fampa cho dia me kan wote ye.
Pacho me say
37%.
37%.
Uko Greece die 177%. 177%. Lebanon 151%. So now Seminiano kase and the basis for downgrading a country. This information I have provided to him. Said then these countries should have been downgraded. they should have been downgraded. Inti me mane who say na asem na okan no palpably false. That is not the basis for downgrading. Now, Maka say, I just want to take my time and give reasons. Moody's Jinaso, the downgrade Ghana. And one of the key reasons, Omudi Jinaso, almost say, pandemic-induced revenue underperformance. Pandemic-induced revenue underperformance. And only one reason, Omujina Swa, Omode downgrade Ghana. Now, me person me busa me nuance asem we am kind no, but yes, the last time I met him, he said, say, NPP for sorry, almost say COVID, anti, ena problems are ye war, den, ban. Moody's downgrade as it's being purported now. Because the government put in disagreement to almost ways almost fast, which he made mention of. What is here? Mr. Bennett and answer Master Bennett Kunedu the last time said COVID has nothing to do with the current difficulties at Yekum as of mine. But I want him to know, say, and Moody's and no about say Moody's are downgrading Ghana, and so yeah, credit in terms of our credit worthy going to the world market for bonds near there, they know a very difficult. No, they admit Moody's admit say this situation has occurred because of a reason, and the reason is that pandemic-induced revenue underperformance. And Minia, I want to explain that statement. Me explaining that statement. Ebra COVID is lockdown across the world. Oko ye aviation. Everywhere in the world, aviation sector no collapse here within that period. Oko your friend is saying ports any idea. Enya de say na transaction be akoso businessmen kofa niema eba. All these things were put on hold. For the hospitality sector, everything was on hold. What you say? And where do we generate income from as a country? You generate income free these places. Oko your ports are business you generate income. Oko your aviation sector, you generate income free. Oko your hospitality sector, we generate income from all these places. And when COVID hit the world, all these things came to a halt. And so within 2020, 2021, revenue generation for the country was substandard. And that has been admitted by Moody's based on this reason they have given. Based on this reason, Omodia man. And the problem ye face as a country, and Amaka say, as NPP government, say times are very hard, and this did not come on just a day. Events are a course, so and I told you the other day, say when we talk of businesses among nations, nothing was moving. Nothing was moving on in the world. But what you say? Intino ene nanado dankwa Akufo-Addo aka sembi na mejina so na mede address the problem Moody's ediaban going forward. Or say we will continue along the path of promoting inclusive growth, encouraging investment, and improving the standard of living of Ghanaians. It is encouraging for me and my party to recall that the rate of growth of the economy, 5.6, and Moody's account, even with all these ratings, the country is growing around 5.65%. And no na down quiet the SEC or see the rate of growth of the economy 5.6 against the background of exceptionally difficult circumstances of the COVID era is still considerably better than the 3.4 we inherited in calmer times from the predecessor administration. Miniano Kasano or say President Mahama and make sure say Ghana's economy was booming. Anke Kufuado eba ababefa no ababetete. I think say Minuye, he is not being fair to himself and to Ghanaians. Because problems are President Mahama within 4 years, Eddie Oman Ghana fair muno. Se Minuye betna ha ne or pese or painting a picture like President Mahama brought manna from heaven to Ghanaians. In fact, it makes me very, very sad. Minuya Bennett, you were in the country. So now we need country. Nimkra, who was South Africa? Oti niyama ne koso ewo Oman Ghana. The president himself. And he found a president Akufo-Addo Akujina say Yahweh enam amanaka dompe. President Mahama under his tutelage, Ejina Ghana for nyinanim, e kachire Ghana for say Yahweh nam no amanaka dompe. You are comparing a government or Dick Ghana, echo IMF, sorry, to a year government wababe Ghana every IMF. And Moody's ratings, they made mention of the fact say pre-COVID, Ghana's outlook was heading in the right direction. And they emphasized on the fact that Ghana was progressing pre-COVID. And so they admit, and Omo Ankasa no, Omo ratings no de buy no, there are contradictions. And that is what a year finance minister, a year day, any name penny for Eputu, a year disagreement in this direction. Meaning about what they are making say. Intino, dear Bennett Eka say President Mahama Eddie Oman Ghana could do pempenso anke what say Minia, don't be a dramatic liar. Excuse my word, but I think this is the best way I can describe in some way. Okay, you are dramatizing situations. You are dramatizing situations, which is not good for our country and yet good for our development as a people. Let's be realistic. Yeah, NPP for the government of President Akufo-Addo, he has admitted in this quote, he said, the situation is there. We admit we have been hit with pandemic. We are trying to fight our way out. And NPP, as we know, when President Kufo came, now you IMF, we fought our way out. And yet President Akufo-Addo, we were in IMF conditionalities. Ye free and NDC for Yansanko IMF. And I'm so sad to hear this. And I know say NDC for they have nothing good to offer this country.
That's IMF no card MPP for ni this wako. NDC for one.
NDC MPP ni ben the but MPP ni ben.
Oh. MPP for ni biya keka.
MPP ni ben you are a host of a program. So if you are putting out information like this, this is a very big platform. I expect you to be specific. But what you say, be specific. MPP ni o kan si enko IMF no. Me Makata. Se MPP ni bi gina ho se yenko eye IMF a. Mekwa akwachi na atwa na chi ma. Mekwa akwachi no atwa na chi ma. And I'm giving you the reasons. Enti America sir. What are the conditionalities at IMF Edebreye? You freeze a public sector employment. And ye backlog ye work in terms of employment situation. Ghana no. Go and check from 2012 to 2016. Backlog a big one. Graduates a year, students a year school.
Na ubisa se MPP ni bena ese monko IMF. Right. Ora Mark asibe ebo. So just when this whole thing started with e-levy, or my suggestion say we should consider going back to the IMF.
Okay. Into one can see IMF or see we should consider.
Oh yes,
these are two different statements. We should consider.
It's NDC for consideration or more can say consider more for say
you are missing the whole conversation.
As be a was say we should consider. Let's say also suggestion or the government.
Good. That is a suggestion, which is his opinion and is welcome.
And then they say NDC for the Obia
no, they are saying the only suggestion a NDC for the man said IMF is the panacea to solving our problems, which I am saying say that is false, because under NDC when we went to IMF, conditionalities are already mine. It was so dominant. Say, and if we are crying foul, say as of my employment situation, is so bad. All this spillage from 2012 to 2016, and no, and high Sabria many way kase. But I wait to the matron. And when that happens, me person me magana 40 years and I believe say this is a fact. When NPP came, Omwa Fani over 100,000 in a year teaching sector and in the health sector and all the other sectors. But the American what am I saying? Until when that happens, now we will freeze employment, just as it's happened. Most of the social intervention programs are ECOSO. BBT said free education and ECOSO ebua enya forma. That program will come to a halt. Health insurance are NDC be good no. And NPP buy a revival no. There is going to be issues, problems. In the Ghana for they should sit down and assess. Say ye approve e-levy. Nye si can find more or mine who buy. And now say the NDC for canon. And Omar Jane say, Omoba. Whenever there is a problem, they have no ideas, they have no solutions to our problems. And so all they think about is to go and seek for a year help from IMF. And so that is the only suggestion they are giving. And they call themselves the alternative to this current government. The alternative. And that is the only solution they can profess. Which makes me feel so sad. Because NPP enka abemu da. When NPP is not there, currently, the opposition NDC and they likely so and if this group of people, this is their thinking, this is how they are reasoning in solving a minor problem, then we have a very long way to go as a country. A quaint chapa. Naminiaba. Yeah, can you say no? Let me come back to a year Moody's in sense. Meaning or South Africa. Now I can say Africa for the ratings nearby. Now ye cry foul. That is not the case. And me person me go to a year revenue service commissioner for South Africa, because South Africa and oyede or I am quoting him now at Tia Sama oyede. oka. Miniami kotuno. Or say, while we understand the underlying factors the rating agencies point out, we think that during such a time of crisis, where the world is recalibrating and redefining its economic status, for any downgrades to be issued during this time, it's like kicking us when we are down. A year South Africa Revenue Commissioner, your friend is Edward Kesveta, said the Germany bekan W in Germany pronounce V into me mekan Kesveta, and I say Obia or ye Ghana ni beka say Kesweta. Nasma oyede or canon. And that is a fact, because you cannot use your old modus of operandi when there were no pandemic, no. And now when there was no pandemic, how do I put it? A kwanya now faso, a year ratings, no, you are still sticking to that modus operandi, which for me, a very difficult way of accepting such ratings, because times have changed. Countries are recalibrating their economic status. There should be some form of redefining moments, because situation are facing as a real. I do not think the rating agencies, no, they put all these things into consideration in their ratings. Yes, the contradiction what Moody say Oma downgrade from B3 to CAA1. And what is the description? Na minuano can be been person me catch and say no countries be B1 when the truth of the matter is say when you are between BA1 to C, you see non-investment grade. And yes, in terms of a year grading, but when we talk of non-investment status, we are all within the same soup. Yes, we have been downgraded, but almost downgraded, they are still saying say your outlook no is stable. And many me per se or say when downgrading happens, it has both sides, a positive and it has its negative effects. And or highlighting on the negatives. See a quabontia, and ya say ye benya bosiani ade interest rate on bosia beji ebe costro, which I admit it is a fact. That is why a very bad say downgrade a country, you have to make sure the data available country need you make good use of it. And this current government it provided solid data, and then also put all of these things into consideration. They did not. What you say, but the good aspect of it, as a government NPP, we are not going to take this with a pinch of salt. We have accepted the fact, say, there is work to be done. And Nanado's a small kind, it emphasizes on that fact. And we are working so hard, say, you beat me every year as a situation. And nothing as said, Tikesia Eda Esundaye. Ada Sundaye say, let us find a means. Ye taxa ye di bo omine ho brano. Let's rope in a lot of people into this net. Said ye be ye bit me a widen your revenue generation gap. Ye bit me a close no rather, not widening it. Ye bit me a close revenue generation gap. And different people are omokasa abine bobusiano. This abine has sat down, come up with such an innovation to make sure revenue is generated. They are the same people going out, and it's so sad. Say NDC will dwell on propaganda, not putting the nation first. And for me, because it's a way you bet me heading a generate a revenue, a bet me the above my obra. Into my car, me say on my Ghana, let us sit down and think. See a free SHSR. No one me one. So what pay a year planting for food and jobs, no one me one. No mom so per se, yanko IMF, and cover a year freeze on employment. Mmre said the NDC for Kana, me too. So what pay dum so me too. But what did you make in Ghana for we have a critical decision to make. Very critical. We are at the wit's end, and this is the time as Ghanaians we have to be very much open-minded. Na yenyi politics na ye every ho na yen find a lasting solution to our problems, because IMF has never been a solution to our problems. IMF has never been. Emma Ghana for ATM. Many no for a mutieme, and he said, say NDC ni bao no be catcher say to e-levy etchnia. Busane say, ye e-levy free wa, the enemy say IMF, the freeze of employment buyer. IMF, Emma ye ko dum sum, a hochre ba or mine. So it is a say, apart from suggesting say yenko IMF no, almost solution I am fan solve the current problem, no, and it's saying let's put these questions to NDC people, let them come out with alternatives, not just saying IMF, because IMF has never been a solution. They rather worsen our situation into obia or pese yanko IMF. No, this is a very wicked minded person. Our person or mine enko ahuchirimu. And these are the people we should shun. I will say because they are not for the welfare of Oman Ghana. Omumpe Oman Ghana. Any Oman in Puntu. Mini Ejipa, Medasi Bebre.
So Medasi, Urama Ata. You call your next topic, Messusi Sana. Ye the Jumidino air to us one. You said transport fares air cost by 30%. Ibisa driver for muchechi muse fangu bokwana koso ena omo niama omo tuto edi ejuma spare parts nya de a omo tuto edi siesie omo kan ho nyina kwa na koso oil koso bibi akoso ntilo omo antumu a omo ho ena ebechiri omo nti sesi am omo ba betutu lorry fame asemi sen ena ejin ho ora kunedu Pacho NDC na mususu efa asemi hu.
Many about me that's it. Now before say me question ya no me pese me rebati me nia MacArthur kakra. Now I want say
10 minutes for this particular question it's moment shele so na
me that's it because all kasano all can someone sebi and true will be woman to also Magana 14 sembiase. Many about since 1957, I fear Ghana buying sika in terms of tax revenue. 2020, Ghana buying now 45 billion Ghana cedis, 45 billion Ghana cedis, and buying in terms of tax revenue, according to GRA. Emma Obekaya, GRA for what I said, or my exceed or target into no, or this guy come because I'm about drama, abandoning ska come. In the same MacArthur tana public platforms to say no can say yesika somewhere basa because of COVID in here na camera say oil to put through Ghana for it any now Osaka say we was see Japan that GDP is about 237%. Meaning about what mean for the Japanese economy and compare economy no what mean for comparing Unim, yen difference a woman is said, yen bobusia, education. Japan for bobusia, woman yen investment. Internet, say, but Japan for so almost ton or major paddy or more, not that could your car. Or met your muka over 37% nanya more at the tool because Busion boy and only year proper investment. And I did about Kunti Union and before. Almost so on the IMF, apart from the fact say, or more position, or much as the NDC say, you Ghana call IMF and so you need management, you know. And they say, Oko IMF for some work hand on the more conditionalities, and they will make sure say you go by the conditions on the amount. And when we say Union proof way, and now promoted to a more bomb and you know, on this IMF sick on the moment. IMF making sure say, or what is Ghana ya Duma and to Mbaba Jebusian. And into Oma Castle, almost say, young Concord Jebusian, because your Concord this Abosiana, IMF will make sure Umbe to account. Check, I have Omoka repeatedly. I said, you're a Roman Mama, the call IMF. Miniaba, IMF, you're a Roman Mama, the coin, and then the money benya Kotuka Terminal 3 Airport, a money benya investor of Ghana Medical Center, a money benya Rate Hospital, a money benya Ghana Maritime Hospital, a money benya KTR Market, a money benya Sevilla Hospital, and the investments now, and as a boosting of what G3 IMF, I did your only conditions at 2 years to me employ. Our private sector go and never be some selected sectors of the economy and I need to me employ. You're John man must more kind say munya but nurses teachers. Now you expand health infrastructure. Say all hospitals are we see ya put this IMF, the NDC hospitals in the idea. We have University of Ghana Medical Center, a better nurses and doctors in Kwama over 1,700 and never form into one risk into one risk on TV. Yes, because your hospitals now are saturated. You build more hospitals, so they be a real with my employment. And young for Jebusiana, I am a family train. And I said, this is 1 3 not common. You for Jebusiana be proper investment. And investment are yet tangible. Ghana need better to such as a mama a year some know it. Omubusia over 228 billion Ghana cedis. To me for months and try to back simple. And the same throne which I say, what do me for Tessa wouldn't be away? Many about and yet they are sub and so on. Now, no, can say or say a NPP can say and can say Omunko IMF. And the so correcting is say you're a Macos has to be I know yet chair of Finance Committee of Parliament or no know that Finance Committee of Parliament on the down or NPP Numa former member of Parliament. Was so one more than can put to the man and the man abandons of Uncle IMF. In Zantron can repeatedly say IMF is winning IMF in the first place, no, and you happen members. And you're gonna pen a member of the IMF. There are so many countries on IMF. Nigeria, okay, I'm rating better because in Nigeria, echo IMF say IMF for my soul massing. Then for the past 4 or 5 years, Nigerian economy a struggle. But I'm not going to IMF and then no make queen at the Nigeria minor. So what doesn't IMF it depends on your idea and the reason to our IMF. So what the good intentions for IMF a best year and it's gonna year because you make it proper investment, physical investment. But me and such as when are the Ghana, the IMF sika it's many about a home mean so. Now I call a question I will be saying so. Many about so Obekaya NDC time and do regulation. Energy sector do regulation. Say a do rebina petroleum prices of course a buy no bet me a cushion consumers na consumers a come adwo kakra. Many will say inflation our Ghana say over 13%. A will say a crude price across Ghana no a idea a nyansu so a normal commodity prices so. And so okay the apostle now Ghana being a net exporter of crude no. Na anke yehwe na say anka ban be bi o de be kushini yen na atema mu for so ekomadwo mu kakra na okro ye wo ba wo opposition wo can say NDC yetimu odin enti na yeton a gallon of fuel for 16 Ghana cedis aban timu odin that time no menu aba obeka ya na $1 3 cedis 70 pesos And it's a bus section driver no pass or one top petrol. No, it's capital go to metonable. And then 1 cedi, and then I'm 6 is 40 pesos. And $1 and I'm 6 is 40 pesos. And it's a cop, and I said, or cover petrol the bar, man, or cast of cover petrol their bar. Obey here, cities more. Now, it's $1 to trade of petrol in their bar. Into a bar, and that's already a bone with toss of on Spaniard and Faso. It's all because a ban way buy and no man else order to talk and my see the young day. Nanka, a timmy a cushion, importers, anka a timmy I do my bois or mine, but 20 minus adiano. Obekaya or penny actually about within the first 3 months, first 100 days, was so I check $1.5 of this Safuaka IGP and 10 who said I escaped prisoner. And then I'm what to say, I did see the national come out, then need to make a baby. It's many about so already a echo so my muna. I was worried because I ban we and then Ghana for so share the echo na petrol boardroom pensua every na ban was says was had 11 back. Okoto ade oduma boarding. Kakra na auto no ka ban say sell to 11 compo electronic transactions. So it's just a ban we need to mad the Ghana for. About we anything mad the Ghana for. Many say near Makata, but the international crude price so into Ghana Kwana two crude prices. But at the back you also you said Ghana is net exporter of crude. And so okay other countries and then I'm US on inflation rate so by 7.5%. In the last 40 years, inflation costs sadder. But relatively and wages is what cost US. And they say, Obi or Jessica, when I do my way, Nakaka or call pumps up or petrol work so relatively a balanced. But we also Ghana wages at the same. Yeah, you know, Hana, Utah company for as on cost strike, and then you saw striker and university graduates at fee. About 1% or 2 admit for pocket to Mumpuna, and which I cost much you could be chopped in the charm. And the taxi drivers is me one young guy before me say I took Uber 2 months ago. I talk out the Uber baby 2 months ago, but I saw Tona who took free Ghana. Besides Saturday, was a certain board day. Say or called Macrana petrol once car petrol need when you can be infantil. Ya chere a ban we Ghana for enemy. A drum for my ebre. A drum for my ebre. So back and international crude price per barrel. And number $94 NH. But over Kaya, and your first time of crude price, a drew, sa a boo winnie. And the first time on crude prices, a drew, sa boo winnie. And he said, governments over the years, it will mitigate the galloping, rises in petrol prices. I was about we say, a price on the baby, not whatever see. Many about some about copy. Now, me conclude na about we emfa nipa honam emfa no feeling na Ghana for feeling no omuntibi enye Ghana for na TV 18 enye Ghana for na mo call pump some call petrol on pumping the free enye Ghana for na mo ntia light bill ahoche na awo Ghana so Ghana for so heading taxi drivers ebre and an accident all over the place all because taxi driver na say 207 driver no your money sell in the owner man am target is what they buy. So I'm quite man when you be but cost no or basis so petrol price this getting na and just obi the car no how go show customers a passengers na achina obi ma me no ko enti aban we hu say ahoche na o de Ghana for fam no e more dey onan ne Ghana for mu na onye bibi ma Ghana for komu ndwe kakra na ya say enipa amediche do as so say le be ya ma me mo yem emruwa no ne omutse dem no omfa yaw enkwasama do me das me aba
yo me so me das ora kunedu ora makata pa show ho a wasumai
mini ejifa
ora makata we de chami woni masam ka say nana wasumwa enti nana we de wasumwa
yo me das mini akunadu on say NDC for I think basically some fundamental issues relating to how we deal with economic issues. I think so deeply that is not to castigate anybody, but the Eminia Kunedu Ken, me a certain line of thought, yana NDC forward. Starting with revenue generation, or say from 57 till today, the highest amount Yetimia generated was in 2020. Admittedly, yes. Admittedly, yes. But I want to ask him, what was the size of economy in 1957 now? You see, they are always running along with nominal figures. So what the nominal figures are running along, you need to subject the figures to a scientific analysis. Don't just mention the nominal figure and run along with it, because when him say, "Oh, cancer figure na Ghana nitia kasiye." But you see, the truth of the matter is, we are building a nation. Those of us who sit on radio, who sit on such opportune places to sell platform, we say so. We are intellectuals. And you know, let us try and eschew propaganda and try to be truthful, because at the end of the day, we are not just trying to throw dust into people's eye. And in the revenue now, you generate now, or cancer the highest from 57 till now. No? The question is, was it enough to deal with the economic problems I want? We still have a deficit, which we are struggling to make sure say ye are fighting to increase revenue generation. Enti minia Kunedu, Miss Rel, you are a fine gentleman. I respect you so much, but please put a stop to this attitude of always running along with nominal figures. Subject your figures to scientific analysis. And no, at the end of the day, if you are to strike a balance between 2020 revenue generating any 57, the population at the time, put it together, put it on scale, and strike a balance. You'll be able to tell, say, as at the time, generation a year within that period, no, it was enough to cater for the people and answer the population and year at the time. What you say, but and then no, irrespective of say you generated that much, you know, we are still battling with a deficit. And deficit, you know, that gap, you know, and I am fighting as a government. See a bit me the close gap, no. You have over 30 million people in the country. How many people pay taxes? How many people? Or here carpenter for asem. Minia, I'm telling you, a woman say yen Ghana no, ye musa for no. But I'm telling you, the amount of money they make, if we were to tax them kakra, me feel say bit me generate enough. I de bebo on my.
You know we are doing.
Intiminia, what's them now working? Miss Ramo, yen ye Ghana for. We want to build a nation. Propaganda will not help us. And the truth of that, if you use propaganda to fight your way to government, you cannot perform. And that is what NDC has been doing. 2008, and that is the same style. Platform when NDC people are talking, they are not talking because they think about Ghanaians. They are talking because they want to come loot the country and share. That is what they do whenever they come into government. And evidences are there to prove. And you know, that is what I would say on that particular subject. And contradiction be man woye. Udi Ghana to US one. Me catch you say udi debt to GDP and Moody's downgrade Ghana. And I may my example say Japan debt to GDP over 237%. We see I know there be Untimi mfa Japan entoto Ghana ho. Wukro ya uti ha, the Ghana to US ho. Minya, I'm sad. What you say? And let us, how can you approbate and reprobate? How can you do that? Minya Bennett, Miss Rew, said your medical canon. I respect you so much. You are a fine gentleman. I am ya so wakwaye NDC ni. Me no bedin kom metwa ba MPP. Metwa na me di waba MPP. Nti ansana meba petrol prices no so no. Em say ono a wo kan say world market petrol prices here dey ekosro. Said the minua difa me medical can, and I believe say majority me nka say MPP ni bia, but majority of MPP people we feel the heater e wo oman ni mu no. We are not insensitive. Said the minua no person wo kan no. NPP government is not an insensitive government. Government are what free SHS aba here for government or they planting for food aba amount for enye aduane adi na afen so no ebi anya efu a omo ye edi kakra eba omo botom. What you say? One district, one factory ekoso and the health insurance ejina na so peme. This is not an insensitive government. Said the million person portray no. We are not an insensitive government. This is a government or genuine man. A listening government. So when Ghanaians cry, we listen, we hear, and we make effort. Say, you better turn things around. That is what we do as a government. And the situation now, no, and favorable. We admit, and the government is working hard. Said you be a bit me at turning things around. And the solutions we are professing, no, these same people are almost your mind, they are crying foul. They are crying even more than they breathed. They are the same people resisting e-levy passage. Inti mukro yani yenya muden. Yenya muden this for yenya muden. Inti media Ghana ni wutie me. MPP, we have antidote to the problems. We will solve it. Just give us time between now and 2024. Yen kase ye die ni behu ensesan ye be ye den. Ebeba oman ni mu. Ahochira ekoso no eso bete. With hard work, this MPP government will turn the situation around. And I know when 2024 comes around, ne ye kopus na kwa kotoa ba. Ghanaians will see the good works of MPP and they will renew our mandate as a government. And I'm very positive about this because people are on the ground working. Brains are thinking, making sure, say, yeah, these solutions better, and yeah, restructure the economy, no. But what you say, yeah, restructure the economy, no. And Minia Bennett, who said, things will change. We will rob a lot of people in the revenue generation bracket, no, tax payers, no, you be increase, you be men can say you be reduce the gap. I'm making sure say it may generate enough revenue. Into the petrol prices, need Ghana for just bear with us. Things will change. The future for Ghana is very bright under NPP government led by Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado, any Tikesia Osudaye, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And that's all homo mine. Things will change for this country. Many family that's baby.
Yes, so you better say Ura Michael say Arthur. Enti say you better call na yakwa yen comments. Na yeba ye den last topic no eba be to Jana yatwa so. Patience that was say good evening Jifa and your team. I'm expecting fire for fire. I'm watching you live from Hamburg, Germany. Yeah, that's say patience say oh shame. BIS Ghana also watch you from Ejuko Eastern region. So good show with beautiful hoods, Medasi. NDC diaspora said, Comrade Bennett, you are too good. You are really working for NDC and the country. Big up. Okay, yeah, that's it. NDC diaspora, so watching you on YouTube. You are very clear. You are very clear on you. Let me say type watching from Amsterdam. Yeah, that's it. Dorcas Manote, I'm here to learn. Go girl, me that's the way I'm achievements or gender advocates for papa. Me that's the Dorcas. Kwadi, I'm late today, but thank God I'm seated watching you from Holland. Yeah, that's Sister O'Shea. Time with Nanos White and tell them, say Michael, the truth must be told. Yeah, that's Sister Osendi will come in. Emmanuel Smith, or say lie, and no meaning the bakra, lie no air ko amano. NDC that's problem. Today, MacArthur seemed confused. Congratulations to Comrade Bennett. Yo, yeah, that's it. Yɛda mo ase sɛ mo sende mo comments yɛbɛkɔ ne akwakofa yɛn last topic no na yɛatoa so yɛsɛ airport boss sacked or still at post Ndra na yɛnya ne nti yɛsɛ managing director for Ghana Airports Owura Yaw Kwakwa yɛyi ne di ɔmampani terminating ne contract no later the team members also be cast say ye need but I no pay them say confirmation about say ye need eba ne say na ye need and say ye need oguso e wo post dem porting na eba ye need ora say MacArthur patcho over manen komai
Minu ajifa we dey make us say wa ambushi me but
me ambush you ade ase ebi mo say akwakoye don't touch my anointed be and I style be because of Magdan Aviation in some APM last week in Tina when you na ACC Pacha Enokrana.
as a matter of fact, there is a communique out. I have chanced on the communique. I've read it. A year directly from the presidency.
Hello.
Say, Papa no omayede omo achino asense. But the truth of the matter is say MPP aban me no the biamika. We believe in one thing. The rule of law. Ye jisadi ni dipa. And now things whenever issues come.
Ora Makata, say connection NCC so minim sa what menka.
Mini ajifa mete onka, but I don't know say won so temeka, won temeka on.
I pay the mete wonka, I pay the bibia clear.
Very well. Very well. Inti said the na meka no. The tiene say there is a communication out. Indicate say papa no. Ye na se akunya. Reasons given there, I must be very frank with you. Say I have not delved into that particular story very well. I wouldn't come and sit here to claim to know everything. No, the minim and say issues are a buyer concerning Magdan and Sensem no. And no will be the reasoner a year abino ejinaso edi take this decision. And for me, as a government, whatever appointees do, a year idea a what negative or positive repercussions on the government business. Until say amount appointment, you should make sure say you discharge your duties with competence. If you are taking decisions, you take decisions based on the available information. Na se utna eye akunyamu na sebe ututu niema basa ututu niema jeje mwa. I think the president has the power to hire and fire. And I don't see where this should be a topic of discussion. President say, me enama appoint you. Be ye juma webua, ema mi jume dia midie enkoso. You came in, a juma way and many in so. Many in so.
Okay, you don't see why this should be a topic for discussion. I say, me should I know one yard because I say me a PA, I'm out for say. Owura Magdan esanse ono na ye chief financier for NPP aban Nanado campaign no anything otimi nya ho kwan etimi ye de oye wo airport na se MD etimi extra letter man say on holding on time oye na just within a week etimi yi MD edi a onsusu say amanfo abe ebe yo na kakra
mentwa wa no minu ejifa MD na nkasa no. After this issue bar out here in no, have you had a chance of listening to the interview or granting?
Around for a year, way I may say from Endrano, first interview I may say no on Akasa so say on ya we say you
apart from saying say on ya we say you what did he say about a young Magdan a Jumedieno? I think that when you are listening to a year, mama the whole story. So ye picking from the side that ye feel say ye career longer, a beboya ma ebia, ye bibia ye no akona ni na bibia tisa. No, or can't say onim say ye yinedi no. He also said say Magdan Jumedi awedi no. Ye credible. Obetimi atoa so ayeden aye adwuma no. This is the same person I will try letter say on hold on. But when he was interviewed, he said, say, Magdan Jumedie no, wedie no. It is, he okayed it. That is what he did.
in his say okay na or okay no. It's because they see our tight corner in tea. It was say okasa in favor of Magdan.
I'm not
mini
na
because that's what they say there yatene kwakwa in tea was
mini na
coming back.
But if that is what it is, then I think he doesn't even deserve say Obenya's position in the first place. Because you see, when you are in a position, you were appointed based on your competence. And for me, it was so you be our principled. In whatever the situation is, you stick to your grounds because that is what you believe in. As a manager of the institution, who feels said the akoson enya, stick to your grounds and run along with your initial conviction. I would take that decision. Until it's all better than it because a year sakana bibano. Until you are changing your mind to come and say something different, then it means one kasano sebi unye a straightforward person. I was here jumedi etisa ede eshawunsa. Until for me, I don't want to begrudge the president for taking such a decision. I think, sir, he feels what happened. No, it was not in the interest of the government. And no, man, no, ayede abesi abanso. He feels ne activities emma or no nani swadi hunu. He has the right to fire him, and if he has done that, I think for me, at the end of the day, dear ebeye ne say mehu say empuntu ayede aba when a new person comes in, and I will be okay with that.
It's already to say touch not my anointed one.
Touch not my anointed nene dear he. This is what I always say mommy and try near avoid it. This kind of spin. So be say Magdan a year financier for NPP near their day. Has anybody been able to prove with empirical evidence? Many define name it way. Na me banen babe can be bifa or ba fe. Sabi me new way I may show an fe. I can just come and say anything about you. So do we believe in whatever anybody comes up to say? If we do that as a nation, because as it stands now, me mint na ha enka say Magdan or your financier now or your financier. Because we need that evidence. So business are net here. Unfa evidence Mmra. When it is out and we all see it, then we can hold up with the discussion. But as it stands now, dear, for me, I would just treat it with the contempt it deserves. I don't want to even look at such an issue at all. It Papa no next time say nyame ya do no nya position o make sure say obey resolute in his decisions and make sure so obey take a decision obey in the interest of the country. Sometimes people have their own personal issues, not their partner offices. Now omode ye niema bia emwa. It that issue need here and no ne I won't say or no name from so because I told you initially say I am not privy to the contract discussions between Ghana airport and Magdan. So I won't come and sit here and blame Papano for any mistake. I mean him so why. But what I'm saying is it is the president who hired him. And Bibia Koso. Maybe the president has a foreknowledge or a preview to what happened. Maybe a preview to. Based on the evidence he has, based on the information available to him, and I will say, Papa no, wachinaide, asensen. That is what I am emphasizing, say. It is the president's responsibility. Ono na o appointed, and our no ankasansu betimi are disappointed. And that is what he has done. For me, I don't have a problem. But me in Kase Papa no so I am from so because I don't have that information. Minia Jifa, that is what I'm saying. Pedasi.
Yo, Miso Bedasi, Ora Mac Arthur. Yabako Yenya Bennett for Neaka Kochi, or no so Argentina, and I need NDC for Isusu Efa Asemi.
Many aba me ma kwa ba biem na masacha many ama ata biem na NPP for on say omunya kwanya bia na omu throw shades and omai away from a position na am aba ban and said no mo kasa so e ba economics mo a omunima
dey e come mo throw shades and ke mo
no Yen ye cannot many about ye cannot pray and intina obeka yura mama ka say na na Akufo-Addo ometna o president that we knew kwaso o judge no dika because now I'm para na do be president that obey bi no ye nyina hu ni modern mo so as I say na very unfortunate say me ka say since 1957 2020 year ye nya sika do pa na minia a single out 1957 pay. Now one team single out 2019 and 2018. So 1957 I wasn't making reference to 1957. So I didn't see I'm gonna do a bit of beat na ko be favor minia Baba Mmre CEO of Ghana Airports Company Limited Asam so. Now Obeka the last time I kasafa we make say me blame papa na de me blame no ye mampani Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ye constitution ma na kwan say ona wa appointed ono aso na wo kwa so disappointed enti say e ba so wo yi obi adia he doesn't have any constitutional obligation so be explaining to that person say this is the reason why india me ma the second and Ghana also need to me say eni akwanya bia betima ka che mampani ni say ombra me chire di india or sakinipan and I would wish Senka yebenya kwanya na yakachim yebusa mampani ni say anka all mind reasons intia we ba panadi because clearly say the see na no be Magdan dey ba na eni na nse ni na yesi yi pani oda Ghana Airports companies ano na te say kamaya say bimu ensusu ye ni bimu asem mo ka say Magdan obi a wontimi mfa won sanka no na say kamaya say Nokware so over share me video baby na omo kire say Ghana Airport companies company workers ni bi ka say papa ne buy no internal capacity but anytime they no outsource contracts they are outsiders near they are there ordinary papa ne fa kunya no obefa kunya 2019 and obefa kunya towards the end of 2019 obefa kunya and watina kunya is or be penny or Ghana Airport company for 3 years now. Na omampani antima pamono depending on the reasons I know one when time pamna for pim say Magdan case buy and my cousin be me say me and as me social democrat me condemn capitalism. But capitalism I've always said say and good for Africa. And good for Africa in the sense that the powerful free say dictate to government and across the continent most government and policies are back on. And policies don't back on companies and contracts execute contracts. At the end of the day, contracts and as a policy are binding by also a benefit to the ordinary citizen and benefits and benefit not a benefit to the corporate and the business elite. So what I say, Zoom lion case by Manasa Zuri, a German expose with regards to Sika Utia demand the workers. Our G over 700 Ghana cedis, no, the workers not 150 Ghana cedis per month. Policy are banning their bank ever benefit the ordinary Ghanaian, the capitalist, and as the business elite, at so and all this can do good butu. And it be in a young of McDan case in Taman can move from the old terminal, about the current terminal 3. And can I mean to see a bank we buy and the old terminal about modernizing. Naka expanded Kotoka International Airport. Naka listen T4 because you percent Ghana yet the hub of aviation in the West African sub-region. So the Euro man by would be more and then will be called Nigeria. So see Ghana and Sana wako Nigeria no. Nanke percent ko buy na Port so. By nam said the NPP a capitalist oriented in Tino. Omo buy and omo di 2 years about for say uchesie sa terminal we na me wo dia. Now they will do a tax claim from my band. I can afa. Magdan, require a statement now. CEO need the bar on tear and a number of man and the in the dinner. Okasa Magdan the cap $4.5 million. $4.5 million. And to put them by one case cannot. Ain't saying can the papa more and another a pagan a year dear. And the SON is a call on ma a bind to me quote Magdan to say a can of the Ghana band to ya. Now I say that be and the Yan say Ghana Airport Company Limited CEO no on Sinchen because we see a find the man darling boy.
So say on incompetence na etimima we see because wetimi atna say or say Magdan aviation and follow due process now wetimi atna say ama almost bibie wie edu launch na sa wo hu so man fa due process say eno ehwe say or incompetent nti yeyi na dia ne kwan so
me aba hwe anya first time bibi active bia say oh ade ne betima akoso na 2 days to and I say day to the program no na yaka say no due to bibi nti na bia program nti me nkoso first time I see no anya first time I see
no but when in the office no na o manage ho na say ohwenia no he ya bibi etimi akoso from beginning to end na when to me who say bibi akoso so the final day answer wait me who say akoso o ka chom so munjaya when you say you are not up to your task into you
many about we are right in a sense we are right but
it's me who say papa ya me didn't know way on me you want to say ya me into was say me yin the ton chain na me po bi for to ho
many about na bibia nsi hu kwan bibia nsi kwan say 2 days to the program no papa na be issue letter that's what letter back from Magdan say on suspended program na omunye nhye answer na bibia nsi hu kwan enti na wasi due process ne say obato bo ase no ma hye no mo hwehwe no mum ansa na betu na mo bia watu enti na papa ne ntimi sorry prekope o ntimi sorry prekope nga say Magdan jade na we 2 weeks to the program no jade o ye no na me no trust in the Mmre ko wonim de nti e wo say of cast unja program
then I know why the dada ya share program na say dem important na know why the dada wentimi anhwehwe mo ehu say we e was say ya manager answer like what me atwan yama ya di abewie don't you think say and no threat the level of competence or ma we no company no
many aba say so o head your course na often me makasa me blame papa no me blame papa because there is a certain political hand that ejuna back much. Oh, Mr. Papa, no, why an appointee of the government, and an appointee na appointee. But then you say, and side drama there, you know, and Sakasi pa. And he said, Papa, no, won't be now. I was say 2 days to the program. I tell how bold I'm panning. I said, when you say, Magdalene here, and I don't back. But 2 days to a certain program, but I spend this car on. No, I can't say because I'm removing be at a show. Let me be on my see Papa no kwaso o issues I'm letting Edema Magdan. But I never say Magdan nim say Jina Chinchino. What balance sa letter na Papa no e de kokoma no. Because when you say enko ba bia the western say na the best CEO. The echoes no one. E kamia say I say no so unim gabi ochre da ko na em kenoporiata. Now when him Nana Danko Kufuadwa, don't be able to my Ghana. And on the echo so Ghana to say. Many about Obian, Mr. Magdan, Gabotch and Epidipan. Obian, Mr. Magdan, check. Some they're not all onto the program, which are small kind. Was still another Danko Kufuadwa by no. By us all support now, also by support one way. So you program
supporting with ideas and suggestions now they are them. Also, government or person or creative job opportunity. And my youth no also be support so now with me be juma no afa amount for na at unemployment.
Many about asem we say one. You say apese say bia bata bo ni twa etwana. Because ohumi enu nyina Nana Danko Fuado, and I say, Nana Danko Enipa. It's no kind, the kind of thing. Name the attorney say, over the years, I can't say, my home come back, Papa, community to be a new man, a bit of creating more. Yen said the richest man, our Nigeria, and I say, our Africa in Nigeria, but open the highest number of people living in poverty in the whole world in terms of percentage in Nigeria. And see, I look at Dangote, and on Africa, I say Nigeria now the highest number of billionaires, but we also say unemployment levels at the same Nigeria. And the some ya come over the years say, me ma private individuals and maybe a new man na creating new man for. When you use that as a conduit and they exploit the system. And be so kwase Magdan e be na djuma be so kwase obi be na nisika no so da be djuma na mo me make sure say e dey bedi mraso regardless of your social standing, regardless of relationship with the president and as whoever is in government, you're making sure say mra be djuma. And I'm very disappointed to say that not drunk of Kufuado. I think my friend you made say Papa no NC form na Magdan what did Ghana a bank of $4.5 million. Our panel making mention of it. Oh, and
where we do? No, Nana don't want to me every flag about and mammy has said, Magdan, ebedi mars, it's in a audio.
Many about everything
want to me making sure say, a month for bedi mars, and there was a oh, it was saying if you send one of my many about before yes, shall we obey me, I'm a Ghana for Eddie Marasu. Only as I say, was a penetration.
Many about I quite say your police station, near police inspector. Now you need a police for my mom didn't say, or maybe sure say crime and answer Basa Yam Koso. Now I did see a police station next to that is a movie at all. And also, is it because the police inspector are incompetent? And I said, crime idea a part of society. Hey, the attorney said, Papa no. The fact said, what's now home Michael 2 days and son or did later come and dance so we didn't meet and just so incompetent. That's what we need to get right. That's what we need to get right. The fact that we're trying 3 days prior to the program and not later come and dance so also spend the program does not mean say we're incompetent. Unless another the reasons Ghana for say these are the reasons why it's here me but the fact said Oma Magdan or man let the prior to 2 days prior to the program and just upon incompetent. There's no way. Me need to that because a kaduma and I net Magdan Duman Kwasa or Hessel airport company they are there soon. So over here, I say Ghana Airport Companies Limited. Companies, and Ghana airports or a public airports in Ghana, a come. It's the airport I went to. So what I say, everyone is going to say, Nasan Elson. So say what Nasima Magdaya deal with ye, and Magdan the Gusun away and man or didn't seek any way good bottom. And I see a question who said, Magdan the cap $4.5 million. Papa Timatrasa Magdaya cow did at a social talk. I open in the airport in Bonas open a terminal in Puru, the parking regulation in book one said, and our partner Transmas had no course. And when a bit of blame is so incompetent. And what make a bit of blame is so incompetent. But what's it? 2 days to the program was no, and no man to tell you, Branian Tanzanian to Tuloma and Sana, not to the but Magdan saying the profit win Yano, and no one win Yan Ghana interest in Tino, or because why I don't know, because the worst would be that. On penny bay papanedi, and indeed, we're in it. The air force one. Many about.
Yammer no air.
The air force. I'm best memory to pay. The air force no. Maka may say I'm not against capitalism. I'm not against me a business person. Me a professional forex trader. Meaning say the world revolves around business. Ain't it? I want to be business free or maybe impuntu, but you make sure say you be embraso regardless of your social standard, regardless of the economic standard. You make sure, and regardless of your relationship with whoever is in government. So when I was say company or classmates in Bukana, making sure so be embraso because there should be equality before the law. Ghana a constitutional state. A constitutional state, and that the constitution of the country should supersede or be interest. Yeah, no question. Transfer back for 18. I said, Mmre, yes, just say you need to because we have a strong relationship with a certain person in government, and so met my NPP, and that is clearly the Magdan I know. The Magdan now can be said, "Sana mechanic, Yoko CID," and I said, the public prosecutor, a follow up. When the CEO releases Salet and say Magdan Eddie Omanaka now or boom rassel, but an answer winning now, or me in the Ominina share on able to Mintino, or Wintimin Casa, name Papana, a CEO now, 777, on an home and a innocent chain. On a innocent chain. Way and natural here, Central Regional Papaya, MD, MCA in a D. Yeah, Minister of Health, paid you would be a cowboy Ghana, or as well as in a dream. But I say MCB, any police near you, and it's in it. It's Yamra. Clearly not a Yamra because Unim, so we a public office holder. You're afraid to be ethics. You're afraid to be ethical leadership. There should be ethical leadership, ethical skills, and the idea also we will be a holding public position. You should go by ethics. And it's young, that's what they were because you can't insult an officer in uniform. No, but you say, no, you're wrong. You're right, my man, also know you're right, and that's why you're wrong. I don't know, that's what you're saying. And it's such selective justice, such selective application of justice. I was saying, on Penino, not Grandpa Kufa with Jatu, no making sure the Ghana play near your pay. The apple teeth, no more people must have chamber. No one in a Juma because Ghana. You're doing Pempenswa, they do no, and then young guys will be so Niska because I'm so Ska and brand new. Young guys will be so Niska, or be so Niska because I'm just a who are going to know Ska and brand new. And that case, Medas Muniaba.
Samakata, Patrol was so my final submission, Yen Purge Median, and Berry.
Medase, Muniaba Dipa. And let me bow a basu ye papa. Why are dear, Yamin Shroud? So what to me as subject Urakunadu to this intelligent questioning. Look at how he was struggling to even answer your questions. So speculative analysis and a minuet here. Speculations in Kwan. I have said it. I want to repeat it. You are a fine gentleman, Miss Rew. NDC style, no. Wow, Jai, me pacho. Odi me no bedi nkomo akiri. Me said that enka nsem bebre. The okan ni nyina no contradictions bebre ne. Said the maka na speculative analysis no yeah. But masema me di twato. Enne eye the finance minister aka sembi. Na sa we Ghana ni a, this is the spirit it was say as a Ghani unya. This is the kind of attitude that it was say we Ghanaian unya. Knowing say difficulties are part of life. When they come, so long as aban you look for the solutions. You don't crumble. You don't fizzle out. You stand on your feet and you fight. Nadia Semna, a year finance minister, a year Yura Ken Oforiata Aka. Or see, I can tell you, we are not going back to IMF. Positivity, positive thinking. We are not going back to IMF. Whatever we do, we are not going back. The consequences are dire. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We are not people of short sight. We need to move on. Unquote. This is the thinking. I was so Ghanaian. Not the kind of thinking NDC forward, always propagating a near man, omudie, enye nkwano maka. Enye ye, and omuni fedie, omuni any woes so. Omutna ho, we enye ye, na bem. We enye na bem, and they come back, they still have confidence to sit in front of Ghanaians and talk to Ghanaians. They don't have that kind of shame. They should be bold enough. Let's come back and talk to Ghanaians. This is what we thought. But then we commend people who stood on their feet to fight and make sure that things work. This is the thinking, not the one you people are suggesting. We are not pessimists. We should be optimistic. We should believe in ourselves, and we know, say we can fight our way back to success as a country. And you know, this is a quota. Midi jagane ni bia na Mmre waji penny 8 year programming. Say positive thinking into the future, not wearing glasses. Emma we are short-sighted. Now with your fool say whenever problems come, you should fizzle out. You should crumble. No, stand on your feet and fight your way back. That is the spirit. That is the belief. And this is what a finance minister can actually. Inti Ghana will bounce back. Yes, challenges are there, but I believe with the competent leadership Ghana will bounce back. Ya befa yentu ma pefra ama niema akoye edi ama timamufo na said ye di free SHS ba ya ebua ehiafo ebua oman no nipa ye di planting for food and jobs aba ebua ye di one district one factory aba ebua. This is a visionary government. What you say? NDC Mmre no mumeka 27 years no social interventions on multimedia maye. Omumeka emientie. Omumeka mientie. Itiminia difa. This will be my concluding remarks. Ghana will do well. May that say.
Miss Umeda say, Ora Mac Aka. Ora can do patrol or some my own final submission.
Yo, many aba medase. Na before say me dem anu besino. Na am concluding the mechanism say you go IMF. And I see IMF no. Any choice, but it's a lifeline. Maybe Edruno. My ma Kennedy Kennedy the area finance minister can Oforiata and then about to so anchor say on the when finance you can be as on for IMF. Ne hope nane say or pass e-levy. Now assuming Congress say you pass e-levy in Pukrana. So here budget deficit now. Yeah, over 10%. And 10%, about $3 billion. $3 billion, 18 billion Ghana cedis. In this year, 6.9 billion cedis in Pokrana. Still now, we shall still have a cost on our debt. Still, you be here from. And to go into the IMF, is not just an option, but it's a lifeline. And sa adena ya kashi etrim say IMF evil institution near that. They nyai sa adena de biye yen nya sa so na de biye kam because enye Ghana penny komaya ya ko IMF membership is about 170. Enti say they be a team so travel there cause IMF the yanko da na kama say as ye demonize institution o ma help several countries ama music asama atoto yi say the medical kan no ye ina enim tama ye de onko IMF empuntu nyuma ye nya Ghana enti say NPP for Ghana yi on Ghana yi dia omumfa yenko mo omumfa fere yentonchen Ghana 40 ase ye see taxes in yentimi ntu abiem de ebetima boy and say ebeko IMF na sikana busumi bia na sa fi bia e fa abandon sase no over 12 billion Ghana cedis de bia nsa e fa yen sase no ye make sure you close those loopholes no say de be ye ebetimi nye sika no na ye gross domestic expenditure no ye betima teso sika de nya bi o man ni nya sika pa nemo ye expenditure excessive abane bobusia anyhow and so your debt servicing no Yesika is spending on consumption, amortization, too much. Too much. Into abandon making sure say obet 2 million expenses, obet 2 million expenses. Now, say the beya young kafu from my tree also be towards the end of 2021. Proposals, budget, loan proposals about Parliament in over $1.8 billion. And about Parliament towards the end of 2021. And she's about where much is a Busiana number. And I am they say, and then you bond you should want to go beyond to be because you're part and you can't be Bugana for a year so. Yamuka Tom bond now. As a bond in free. As a bond in free. As a yes, so let and if I will be sending to a free. And Sada Ghana will be whom say bond in free because I don't kind of bond in there. Come and here so simple. But the bond the idea a busia na kwakwa di obetua omo ba yema busia nko 228 billion Ghana cedis omo nche de omo diskana ye someone to me fast can be as can na bibia omo ntimi mfa 6.9 billion enye bibia and this has someone kofi wa yomo ne maxo kofi djuma mo kayata na do ntimi nya president no and they are vindicated because na do want to be the president want to be ntina no e de man na o man atete apansam no Omaya na kedi na si babia obia Ghana obia bogana din Ghana and nay ye kodama so bobu se bokara obia so uswe and ye Nigeria gina ho a the mine lenders bobo Nigeria bosia aja Ghana and ye ne Botswana gina ho a lenders bobo Botswana bosia aja Ghana because ye obo ye bosia the chances are that ye timi ntwa ye bosia no and say any men for your platform be say no better so no mo kasa mo throw that into the ass of Ghanaians. Let them face the reality. Now, on can say Ghana for say you buy you have two sika. Come buy get fund, scan them. Over $400 million. I'm not collateralizing. Heritage fund, $200 million. I'm not collateralizing. Esla, I'm not collateralizing. Just that Ghana need sika be out of mind. The back that's going that you know. About your fall ever fall on. It need be the so as more ever kunye na you regime the man mama I have 3 extra oil fields ready at the amount more streams of income in discovery better am buy na from nsem na e wan fa Sika abam revenues abam some for in the past 5 years. And you are 450 billion Ghana cedis. Sika away from. I feel here all of a sudden say ya man come one pass 11 billion Ghana ever crash it.
Where could Ghana ever that say no aso.
Many about medase.
You better asher for any asie for jena asise enne so mutimi ejebre say one was sending your comments no suggestions na so yeda mo ase beda me panelists ase eda me producer and so ase na what you send there you be say Asia that's you be call say ochina every birthday there me ho ena metwem brother Anthony Oye Astare happy birthday. They say and content at the
Obafe happy birthday. At least Tofiki to every betrayal.
Oh, but that's it.
Me wa Inti me wish you happy birthday.
But that's it.
Inti me post
okay, I come the e-cake brew, e-cake.
E-cake. Na every for take your with my mama me. And I say encounter.
What's it?
The attorney say ye nuanom omba ye we 11 no ye be pass ye de be ye mpuntu djuma emba ma oban na koso 2024 mu ankasa ombe di adanse ye say oman no ensisan aye de aba nipa de ya brabo mu problems ba but said the makano the spirit is that we are made to solve problems. We don't run away from problems. When you run away, you see, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. The NDC for you should keep off running away. That be. Even if the akunyani at the mamwa, you will come and fight it. Let us find solutions to our problems. Let's work together and in the interest of Ghana. It means a year happy birthday in advance. Why?
Amen. Madam the producer says Adi. Na yede DVD no abewie. Now she sent the message here.
Happy birthday to you, Miniaba.
Thank you.
Next week, Meta E-cake, bro. Why?
You must with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
yeah, come on.
What we say, youth man, before you make up your mind, think before you take up your nine. We say the hottest part of date and who did, who you did left behind. What we say, youth man, yeah man, this is the Aside the Soldier and the Warrior representing for Today Ghana News TV. It's the best web TV across the continent of Africa. They transmit via satellites and all their social media platforms for your best developmental news, social program, empowerment, entertainment, sports, and for the best educative political discussion. Today, Ghana News TV, 24/7 online TV. I Aside the Soldier and the Warrior. Blessings.